From the Delhi studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 year and 4 months after Parambir's TRP hoax conference, he has finally spilled the beans himself. The hoax TRP case, he now says, was completely politically fabricated. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Parambir Singh himself has admitted that Sachin Vase, according to him, got direct instructions from ex-Home Minister and senior NCP leader Anil Deshmukh to target Republic TV. I have many questions to the Lutyens lobby tonight. But consider this, ladies and gentlemen. Just consider one small fact. For the last 16 months, news channels conspired with Parambir Singh, Sachin Vase and Anil Deshmukh to target Republic TV. For them, it was an attempt at squaring off against a network they cannot compete with. It was an attempt by desperate, spineless news anchors who know they can never be popular or respected for what they do. And hence they began Operation Republic Elimination. Ladies and gentlemen, Vase is in jail. Deshmukh is in jail. As for Parambir, your guess is as good as mine on where he is headed to next. But what about these opportunists in the Lutyens media? Where do they deserve to be? The nation wants to know. This is what has been revealed today.
TRP के सिस्टम को मैनिपुलेट किया जा रहा था.
If you think you can break nationalist journalists like me, you are bound to fail.
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आभारी हूँ.
TRP के सिस्टम को मैनिपुलेट किया जा रहा था. जितने अभी तक हमने इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया है उसमें मैंने आपको बताया कि 3 टेलीविजन चैनल्स के नाम सामने आए हैं. सबसे बड़ा नाम है रिपब्लिक टेलीविजन का.
He was the face of a politically fabricated hoax.
If you think you can bring down Arnab Goswami, if you think you can bring down the Republic Media Network, if you think you can break nationalist journalists like me, you are bound to fail. So here's my challenge. Our viewership is because of our support. You lie about my viewership. What do you know about? Allegations against the India Today group does not mention Republic TV. But the complaint is on India Today. What is the most significant matter, as they say in English, viewers, there's a phrase, more loyal than the king.
सब लोग ये कहना चाहते हैं कि जो हो रहा है गलत हो रहा है. और आप देख लीजिए मुंबई में रिपब्लिक नेटवर्क मीडिया ऑफिस के बाहर पूरे नेटवर्क पे जितने सहयोगी शिफ्ट से बाहर आके एक साथ खड़े हुए, एकजुट करके खड़े हुए.
The fixer who wanted Arnab in jail in a fake case. This is Sachin Vase, Parambir's sidekick at one point. Look at him closely. He took instructions to target Arnab. Sir, I am not. I am doing my job. Sachin Vase and Parambir Singh were weapons used against Republic.
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आभारी हूँ ये भारत की लोगों की जीत है।
In the last 1 year and 4 months,
We have not done. How come I can commit that I have done the thing?
they have lost each battle along with their political masters.
Their problem is with our kind of journalism. And I want to tell them, we, all of us, we don't owe an explanation to these politicians to define what our journalism will be.
First to get out of this. First to get out of this. First to get out of this. Get out of this. First to get out of this.
And every attempt to intimidate Republic has failed. Look at them closely. Two men, both a blot to the uniform, who avoided each other, scratched each other's backs for their crimes. And today, both of them are spilling the beans.
Anil Deshmukh says, look here, I am not responsible, it is Parambir Singh and Sachin Vaze. Sachin Vaze then says that look here, I am not responsible, I was taking instructions from Anil Deshmukh. Parambir Singh, head of the Mumbai police, who actually oversees all important cases, now says that look here, it's not me, it's Anil Deshmukh. Anil Deshmukh is the one who's given me the instructions.
Parambir Singh himself admits he was called the king and Anil Deshmukh was referred to as number one. He admits Sachin Vaze gave briefing and took instructions on ongoing investigations from Anil Deshmukh, the former Maharashtra Home Minister, on the TRP case. The investigator and police chief are trying to wash their hands off tonight as a politically fabricated TRP hoax is exposed. How will Lutyens' media face the people now? Should these media conspirators give a written apology? When the hoax is out, Lutyens has blacked out the truth. It's the biggest victory in the history of news media.
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आभारी हूं। ये भारत की लोगों की जीत है।
And Republic thanks each one of its viewers and supporters for being with us in this journey.
We don't owe an explanation to these politicians to define what our journalism will be. KK Manan, Senior Advocate Supreme Court, Sandeep Ghosh, Dr. Vikram Singh, Swapnil Kothari, Senior Lawyer, Kapil Sankla, Advocate of Supreme Court, Pankaj Sharma, Kishore Tiwari of the Shiv Sena, and Wills Matthews. Kishore Tiwari face Swapnil Kothari tonight. Face the people of the country tonight. My dear colleague, Executive Editor of the Republic Media Network, Rhythm Anand Bhardwaj, also with me this evening. Kishore Tiwari faced Swapnil Kothari tonight. Parambir has said that this was a political conspiracy. Parambir has said it was a political conspiracy. Carried out on the instructions of Anil Deshmukh in conspiracy with Sachin Vaze. Answer the people tonight. Answer. Kishore Tiwari used to come on this channel and attack us, didn't you? You were riding a high. You also thought you could fix Republic. Answer the people of the country tonight. He has a sworn affidavit, ladies and gentlemen, before the Supreme Court. Parambir has said this was a political conspiracy. Kishore Tiwari, your turn to answer now. What happened to him? He lost his voice? Swapnil, Rhythm, he lost his voice?
No, Arnab, I will speak. Arnab, I know we have a voice. There was a mastermind was a Parambir. Parambir has planted the case and Parambir, there was no instruction from the government to victimize any reporter. If there is the evidence that Anil Deshmukh is involved, let the Parambir to be. When Parambir brought the 100 crore rupees charge, now he says, I have no proof. And you are relying on a Parambir Singh who has done who is the mastermind of that explosive also. So, my chief minister is not involved in any vindicative action. Try to understand. If Anil Deshmukh, there is a evidence, you try to come out with the evidence and you are free to go into the court of law if there is a vindicative action. But I want to say, Arnab Goswami, the injustice was done to you. This is the fact. And this was a misuse of the institutional machinery. That is the fact. Swapnil can add to that, but I am of the opinion my chief minister is nowhere involved in such type of things. If Anil Deshmukh is involved, let us have...
No, you can't wash your hands off. You can't wash your hands off. No, you can't wash your hands off now. No, you can't wash your hands off now. You have to explain. Swapnil Kothari, Parambir Singh himself. See, Rhythm, he's trying to wash his hands off now.
Yes.
He's trying to wash his hands off and say, don't ask me.
Arnab, this is not the case of watching.
Viewers, are you watching this? This is the same man. This is the same man. No, viewers, watch this. This is the same man. This is the same man, Kishore Tiwari, would come to the channel and call Republic names. This is the same man, Swapnil. Let's not give him an exit clause tonight. Let's not give him an exit clause. Time for Kishore Tiwari to face the music.
He is being investigated and allegations are made against him. They are just escaping out.
Kishore bhai, can I speak now?
Those who have
Kishore bhai, may I speak?
Injustice will have to pay.
Correct. Kishore bhai, you are absolutely right there that whoever has committed injustice will have to pay. Arnab, let me tell you something. Today's statement of Mr. Parambir Singh before the Enforcement Directorate is as close as the karma can come to conspire to vindicate the most intrepid journalist and the foremost channel of the country, to whom the competition, the so-called competition, could not match, will not match, and will not be able to ever match. Having said that, let me tell you something, Arnab. This statement is as good as pure evidence, and the state will fail its case completely as far as the TRP case is concerned, because their star witness, because he was the one on 8th of October who fronted the press conference, and he was the one. Now it is for him to say and to go back on that it was on some sort of a political pressure, etc. That is something which he will have to show and he will have to justify. And he will have to face the cross-examination, although he is not arrested.
Yeah, he will have to prove it.
This is concerned, because he is the evidence. It will be him who will have to undergo the scrutiny as far as the most important aspect is concerned. And the second, and Kishore bhai, let me finish. And the second most important part, the second most important part is, Kishore bhai, I did not interrupt you. Please don't interrupt me. I am talking about Mr. Singh, and I am talking about the legal validity of the evidence that he is given. Now, as far as the second point is concerned, Arnab, there was never any need for Republic TV to even justify, because you were head and shoulders above the rest. And this was a complete, should I say, a very, very conspiratorial attack. And a lot of, not only one section of the media, but several sections of the media were involved, as we used to watch other channels. And they had some sort of a specious and a vicious plea as far as this was concerned. Wait, let me finish. Now, one of the other things is, Arnab, I want to point out very, very importantly, 4th November 2020, your arrest made its way on 11th November 2020 as far as the Supreme Court judgment was concerned, and that case is dead. Anvay Naik's case is dead. Now, as far as this case is concerned, it could not be more dead than anything, because the witness, and for him to say that it was Mr. Waze at the instructions of Mr. Deshmukh, I am sorry. That Mr. Waze was only a sub-inspector, you were the commissioner of police. So it will be a great burden of proof on him to justify what he is trying to say, and I'm sure he's going to be cross-examined very strongly as far as this is concerned.
I would go a step further.
No.
I would go a step further, dear Swapnil. And by the way, Kishore Tiwari, I didn't ask you about your chief minister. Was that a Freudian slip? Did I ask you about the role of your chief minister?
How can a Mumbai police
was that a Freudian slip?
On a home minister without...
Did I ask you, was that a Freudian slip?
No.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've always said, allow me to complete. I've always said that the media should be cognizant of the fact that it cannot be party, or play victim when called out for its conspiracy with these people, people like Parambir and Vaze and Deshmukh. And I'm not putting this in any context, but the whole world knows that I had to send a legal notice to the Indian Express, Rhythm. I had to send a legal notice to the Indian Express, and I did. As far as the people, Rhythm, who carried out this conspiracy against us.
Commissioner cannot
1 minute.
like this.
I did. I am placing it on record. I sent a legal notice to the Indian Express.
Yes.
And I had to send a legal notice to others in the media also. Because you cannot have misleading headlines, information from one side, put it out as news. I have every right. And I also want to say tonight, those who carried out the hoax will have to compensate us. Read my lips tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying this. Ask the hoax anchors. Hoax anchors. There's one hoax anchor who thinks that she walks in my shoes. They're a blot to journalism. I wonder tonight, Rhythm, that when the day happened of Parambir's news conference, these news channels, Kapil, who never reach the spot on time. This is very interesting, KK Madan. They never reach any spot on time. They're always 1 hour behind Republic. That day before Parambir did his press conference, some of these hoax channels who are a blot to journalism sent their reporters to surround my house even before Parambir began his news conference. Things will have to be investigated now. What was their role? They're trying to get away, Rhythm. Now they're trying to slither away. Parambir is also trying to slither away. My question is, Rhythm, over to you. That if Parambir says, I didn't know anything about this case, it is between Vaze and Deshmukh. Deshmukh was given instructions to Vaze, which is a complete contravention. That itself, KK Manan, is a contravention of any investigative system, where a minister is giving instructions to the investigating officer. What was the commissioner doing then, KK Manan? Isn't that a question, Rhythm, we should ask Mr. Manan?
Yes, and Arnab, we also need to, in fact, before I go across to KK Manan, remember November 4th, the day when this notorious disgraced cop mishandled you and you were taken to Alibag, after which you were shifted to Taloja. I remember those 3 days when the Bombay High Court heard this matter, and finally when they refused to give any bail or give any relief, the Supreme Court had to pull them up later, and the 27 reminded them about how they had abdicated their duty. The question we were asking today, Kishore Tiwari, was whether the media remembers they abdicated their duty to really report what they had to report. And I also remember with a lot of grace how Mr. KK Manan had come out at that time and spoken up about how this particular conspiracy was malicious and it was not absolutely correct. I remember when the case was in the Supreme Court, how he came out on that night, 10th of November, 11th was the hearing in the Supreme Court, and 10th of November at night, when certain people tried to bring up certain news, he started to deplore it. In fact, before I ask KK Manan, that I also want to say, Kishore Tiwari, when you speak, Kishore Tiwari, when you spoke about your chief minister, Parambir Singh does not shy away from naming him. Something we are not talking about, but he did not shy away from naming him and said when Sachin Vaze was reinstated, it was not only from Anil Deshmukh, but from Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray and others. KK Manan, before I go back to Kishore Tiwari and others, the only question I want to ask you, what about the conspirators in the media?
It's a baseless thing. Parambir is misleading the judicial inquiry. It's a quasi-judicial inquiry where he is misleading. This is not the truth. If it is the truth, let him come out with the proof.
No. 1 minute.
How can you choose to believe him at some times and choose not to believe him at other times?
The point is,
I want KK Manan, senior
the point is, Mr. Manan, Mr. Manan.
Arnab, without any proof, he is just allegation.
Mr.
How can a Home Minister instruct the police inspector?
Will you allow Mr. Manan to make his point? I'll come back to you, sir. Thank you.
It was the Paramveer Singh who planted everything. Yes.
Mr. Kishore Tiwari, may I ask you only one thing? Your Chief Minister,
yes,
your Commissioner of Police, what they were doing? They were not in control of their minister or the police. Is it correct? If this is correct, then your Chief Minister should resign immediately. Now, I am asking you another thing.
These are baseless allegations.
You know the statement given by Mr.
We are involved.
Every accused used to say in the court, now listen me, don't say tie.
Running a parallel government.
You are just speaking unnecessarily, tie. You see, you have the patience to listen others also. Every accused in the court say, I am innocent, plead not guilty. But till today, nobody was saying anything but your own person, appointed by your own government, Commissioner of Police of Mumbai. His statement is inculpatory, not exculpatory, which is now admissible in the eyes of law. You know it? You know the consequences of his statement now? I think you do not know. Just making a long speeches on the
I know it.
dais before the public or before the channel will not serve the purpose.
Extortion case. It was a misusing the office of a police commissioner.
Be a good listener now.
He's accused. He's being summoned by our anti-corruption bureau. He will be behind the bar. He has misused his power.
Please.
We are not victimized, Arnab Goswami. It's the truth. It's the truth.
Mr. Kishore Tiwari, try to listen others also. Have patience. May I say one phrase in Hindi?
That's not truth.
May I say? थोथा चना बाजे घना. अब आप घना बाज रहे हो unnecessarily. Now please listen others also. Have patience also. Good arguments always be appreciated only when one speaks, other listen.
आपने समझना चाहिए ना हमारी बात.
तो आप एक चीज को,
मेनन साहब आप सीनियर है,
if
आपने
you
तो
will
ऐसे
say
बेहुदा
time and again the
आरोप
same
नहीं
thing,
लगाना चाहिए.
सर आप एक चीज को बार बार मत ना कहो. हमने आपकी बात सुन ली, अब हमें अपना पक्ष रखने दो ना. इजाजत है? अब सुनो फिर. मैं अर्नब गोस्वामी का वकील नहीं हूं, मैं इस देश में एक नागरिक हूं. लेकिन the way you people treated Arnab Goswami on that day, he should file at least 100 crores defamation suit against the government, because the police of Mumbai comes under you. You know it. You know an innocent person. You dragged him from the house, put him behind the bar. If the Supreme Court would have not come at his rescue, you would have done something more with him. You see, your own acts. Please, for God's sake, press is the fourth pillar of the democracy. Don't ruin it. Don't crush it. You remember in emergency, the press could not be. And you people are not more powerful than late Indira Gandhi ji. You know it? Now, for God's sake, still time is with you. Regret. You regretted today. I salute you. Meaning by, in the eyes of law,
the press should not accuse us.
Sir, in the eyes of law,
in Sushant Singh case,
I am sorry, Mr. Sir. So leave it. Sushant Singh, Leave it, Bijan Singh. Now please listen me.
Menon Sahab,
At least I congratulate you that you accepted
they
your...
should be responsible also.
I congratulate you. You have accepted it.
Media should act responsibly.
Sir,
I would like to make a larger point here tonight. And Mr. Kishore Tiwari, I'd like to bring in others as well, including Wills Matthew, lawyer Pankaj Sharma, advocate Rahul Narvekar, and if I may. Yes. Yes, Mr. Manan. Yes, Mr. Manan.
Arnab, I want to sum up with one sentence. I congratulate Mr. Kishore Tiwari that you accepted and you pleaded guilty today. That yes, Arnab Goswami was innocent. The whole nation heard this. I congratulate you. Now it is up to Arnab Goswami how to deal with you, how to deal with the government and the police. That is all.
A lot of people, Mr. Manan, are telling us here at Republic and me personally that we should demand compensation, that we should file for malicious prosecution, and that we should seek accountability, because they say that this entire case goes far beyond you. It was about setting an example and fixing someone. So we are seriously considering that aspect. In the meantime, I'd like to broad base this. I just lost the line with Rahul Narvekar. I'd like to get Sandeep Ghosh onto this, and Dr. Vikram Singh before that. I think Rahul Narvekar is here. Now, today, Rahul, Parambir says, I never knew anything about this case. I don't know anything about the TRP case. This was political instructions being given by Anil Deshmukh to Sachin Vase. So he's blaming the NCP leader and the ex-Home Minister. It may well be the case. It may well be the case. I'm not saying he's innocent at all. I can't believe Parambir didn't know. Frankly, if Parambir didn't know, what the hell was he doing? Having that press conference and giving awards to Sachin Vase. Parambir Singh was giving awards. He organized an award ceremony. Can we have the pictures on the screen? He organized an award ceremony saying this is the biggest ever case. The biggest ever thing we have done in our whole life has been the TRP case. Here he is. He's awarding Sachin Vase. He's awarding the whole team. Well done, he says. You fixed Republic. Well done. I'm going to give an award to all of you. Now he says, I didn't know anything about this case. It was a political conspiracy. Who's going to buy that? Rahul Narvekar versus Pankaj Sharma. Rahul Narvekar.
Well, Arnab, this statement by Parambir Singh itself is an admission of the guilt and the incompetence of the officer and the executive. It's expected that the executive is independent and of the investigating agency, and the investigating agency should not be influenced by the executive. But this is an admission of the fact that the government of the day in Maharashtra completely interferes and unnecessarily, unwarrantedly interferes with the functioning of the investigating agencies. And that has been exposed clearly, even in your case. Even in your case, a case which was closed and done with was reopened by the Home Minister, Mr. Anil Deshmukh, only to vindicate Arnab Goswami, only to settle scores with Arnab Goswami. There are umpteen number of cases similar to yours. I want to know, in the last 2 years, how many of them have been opened by the government of the day? None. But why was this exceptional treatment extended to Mr. Arnab Goswami? The answer to your question lies in this statement which I have made. Other than that, the admission made by Parambir Singh today clearly demonstrates that the investigating agencies in Maharashtra do not function independently, which they are constitutionally mandated to function. They function under the pressure and influence of the government.
But if there was so much pressure or influence or interference by the government of Maharashtra, then why Parambir Singh didn't raise any voice during the 1 year when he was the police commissioner of Mumbai? This is also a fundamental question.
When I make this comment, I am not giving a clean sheet to Parambir Singh. In fact, by making this statement, he has shown how he has compromised his own office. Because he is the police commissioner of the city.
How can you
The buck
believe
stops
his
at his
statements
table.
now?
So simplicity is saying
Actually,
that he
it
was
is-
not in the loop of things. He is in fact demonstrating that he is guilty of not performing his duties. So Mr. Parambir Singh has not done anyone no favor.
No.
In
You
fact,
have
it
you
is an
okay,
ambition by his
Pankaj, a question to you. Pankaj, a question to you. Pankaj, listen. Let me tell you why I'm looking at this. Just a minute. Pankaj, first of all, the party you support, what is that? Vadra Congress. Tell that party to understand and to have the ability to take on
anyone
criticism.
can call
You think
Sangh
I will ever
Republic
forget
TV.
that the Vadra Congress?
What is that?
Allow
This
me to
Congress or
complete.
that
Allow me to
Congress?
complete my point. Allow me to complete
but
my point. Allow me to complete my point. You cannot silence
can't
me.
change
You
the
cannot
official
silence me. You
name.
people have tried to do
You
everything.
can't-
You will.
can't
You are.
change
You are
the
destined to
official
lose.
name of
Allow
any
me to
political
complete my
party
point.
Like this. Can I change the name of Republic
Allow me to
TV
make my point.
from
Allow me to make my
Republic
point.
TV to RSS
Okay, now.
Republic TV or Sangh Republic TV or Propaganda
Okay, now you
Republic
chill.
TV?
Yeah, you do what you want. I'll say what I'll say.
what
But
is
I'll tell
this?
you one thing,
every
Pankaj.
day-
I'll tell you one
every
thing.
day- every
You
day,
tried to carry out an
should
acid
have some
attack on me.
decency.
You
should
people,
have
you
some
tried to
decency,
carry out an
some
acid attack
gravity.
on me. Never forget that,
Mr.
Pankaj.
Goswami, you should
Never
have
forget
some
that.
gravity,
Your
some
party people
gravity.
celebrated after there was an acid attack on me and my wife,
Nobody
who is
celebrated.
also an executive
Nobody
editor on the
celebrated.
network. There was an
Nobody
acid attack on
celebrated.
us in
No
the
one
heart,
can
in the
celebrate
heart
an
of
attack on the
Mumbai.
freedom of
Congress
press.
leaders celebrated.
Nobody can
They said,
celebrate
well
any
done.
attack on
And
the
then
freedom of
your
press,
government,
and nobody
your government of
celebrated.
which you are a part, ensured that you let the people who carried out the acid attack on me get away. So watch your words. You assaulted me. You physically attacked me. I said that in an open court. Rahul Narvekar was in the court. You were not there when I showed my wounds and my bruises in an open court to the judge, where I lifted my shirt and I said, I have been assaulted, Your Honor. Were you there? Were you there when I was assaulted? Were you there when the acid attack on me was carried out? Were you there when my family was attacked? Were you there when I was kicked? Were you there? Don't tell me what you support and don't support. Answer me tonight. The biggest ever conspiracy to target and hit out at an independent news media house. You stand here and have the temerity to say it's okay.
Mr. Goswami.
You have the temerity to say it's okay.
To stop the blame
You
game.
thought, you thought. The fact of the matter is, Sandeep, they thought they would target Republic and end the voice of the people of this country. That was the attempt. It was a clear and brazen attempt. It was a clear and brazen attempt. You think I don't know that all these three were in it together? Deshmukh, Vaze and Parambir? You think I don't know that Parambir is trying to slither away? You think that I don't know that the Shiv Sena went along? Kishore Tiwari, you blame the NCP now? I ask you, what you're trying to say is, NCP did it, Shiv Sena went along. I'm asking you then, why did Shiv Sena go along? Why did they go along? I'm asking you. And by the way, one more thing, Sandeep, I'll tell you. One more thing, Sandeep. Was Parambir not hugely felicitated by your government for the TRP case?
He was.
Was he not treated like some kind of a genius? Is that the reason he got emboldened? Is that the reason Sachin Vaze carried out the Antila case? Did you create monsters? Ever think about your public accountability? You think you'll silence me? This was political vendetta of the worst order.
And now they're trying to throw Parambir under the bus. Yeah, they're trying to throw Parambir under the bus, which is, very natural for politicians to do. But Arnab, first of all, I think kudos to you, respect to you for really fighting this out for so long, everything else that you've gone through. And I think that is something you owe not only to the nation, but to others in the fraternity, because there are a lot of people don't have your wherewithal or your great determination to fight it. I think you have to prove that point for a larger cause. And therefore, you have our support. You everybody, I think all right thinking people will support you in this mission. Now, second thing is, it's very fine when there were accusations against Arnab Goswami. You were guilty before you had a chance to prove yourself. Now, when Parambir Singh is accusing, they're saying, no, he has to prove himself only till proven people are innocent. the reverse laws, double standards cannot apply to people. You were put into the dock, everybody celebrated, and they were, treating you as a criminal at that point in time. Nobody said, let the law take its own course, let it prove until proven Arnab Goswami and Republic are innocent. At that point in time, they declared you guilty. And today they're putting the reverse way, or Paramveer Singh can say anything until he proves himself, till then everybody else is innocent. It's real double standard. And coming to the Congress, as you said, they take such a high moral ground everywhere. I think it's for them, therefore, now to stand up, although they're part of the MBA, to stand up and say, yes, things have gone wrong, things have gone all right. We want justice to be done. And how can we really, make sure that, the press freedom and whatever wrong has happened, and if necessary, we'll walk out of this government if it's proven that they had tried to intimidate an independent media. And lastly, Arnab, is about your
No, they're very much part of it. I think you're being, I think Sandeep, 1 minute. Sandeep, let me tell you, the Vadra Congress is very much part of it. Let me tell you, it was their leaders who were linked in the acid attack on me, which Paramveer's police let them off. Please let me tell you, there is no way in which the Congress party can distance itself from this hoax. It was part of the hoax. Absolutely. The Congress party people stood outside my network's office, Sandeep, tried to intimidate us. Thousands of them stood out there, tried to intimidate my journalists from entering the office. I will not allow them to you tried to physically intimidate us. Don't wash your hands off now. The whole country knows what you were up to now. You were part of this hoax.
Your reporters are not allowed.
What they can feel if they can't get over the fact, that I asked someone in their party some straight questions which he hasn't recovered from in the last 7 years, that's their problem. But I'm asking you a straight question tonight, and Wills Matthews is on the debate. Wills, let me present this before you. You're a lawyer, and Vikram Singh is on the debate. Wills, my question to you is this. The entire Vikram Singh and Wills Matthew and Rhythm can take this forward. For me, Rhythm, the bigger question which you can put to them is, the entire police and state machinery was used as a handmaiden, proven completely now, for a political conspiracy. There hasn't been a case like this in the entire world, where a news organization of the scale and reputation of Republic, where an entire state and police machinery is used in as brazen a manner as this. This is a once-in-a-time ever case, and I hope it remains a once-in-a-time case. Over to you, Rhythm. Over to you.
Absolutely. Arnab, like you're saying, I also remember when I go across to Dr. Vikram Singh and Wills Matthew, what Guru Murthy had said on that day, Dr. Singh, when Arnab had been taken to Alibag, where he spoke and questioned the Editors Guild and the way they had given a very whimsical support to us. Dr. Singh, I remember your support so much more vocal when you came, wrote articles and questioned people, questioned this entire police system as well as the political system on how they reacted. Today, when Paramveer Singh suddenly takes a U-turn, when Paramveer Singh, like we've all been stating here, says that, it was not me, but the political dispensation that was actually asking for the TRP, what action needs to be taken at the very top?
Rhythm, nothing surprises me any longer. Like the entire nation, I too was incensed along with my family. And I told you so. Now, as Arnab has said, I have never seen in my career of 36 years a hoax like this in the name of investigation. It would be blasphemous even to call it an investigation. I have never seen such a frame-up and such insidious minds coming together, freebooters ganging up to nail Arnab and his family and Republic Channel. And the shameless manner in which he went about, everybody was a beneficiary. The police commissioner's office was used as a gangster's den and shamelessly orchestrated and provided an ecosystem and the launching pad for the freebooters and the criminals in uniform. I say criminals in uniform who have brought disgrace to the office of the police commissioner, and that also of the police uniform and the great name of the Mumbai police. Now, to what they have said, there are illustrious lawyers on your panel, K.K. Manan Sahab, Kapil Sankla Sahab, and Swapnil Kothari Sahab. They are in a better position to tell me that the shift in gears is not because of the call of conscience of Paramveer, but the fact that he is a very slippery customer and wants to slither his way out. This, I think, is going towards the way he is wanting to turn an approver. But I feel that his goose is cooked and nobody can absolve himself of his responsibility, whether it is Deshmukh, whether it is Waze or it is Paramveer, the manner in which the miscarriage of justice took about, it is the shame and a blot in the name of policing, investigation, and the rule of law. And how can anyone say that he can wash his hands off? My lawyer friends will tell you that it is the moral and legal responsibility of the powers that be to ensure faithful implementation of the rule of law and the dignity of any single individual. Here the entire channel, Arnab and his family, were humiliated. And for what? Because he was absolutely so talented that he gave a complex to the others in the Lutyens media. Not his fault. Well, you had better pull up your socks and put your best foot forward if you got to get a complex. And the fact of the matter is, Paramveer, and if Kishore Babu, you are there, distance yourself from Paramveer, Sachin Waze and the like, and take up responsibility. And as K.K. Manan Sahib said that you have been very upright and honest, take a principled stand today that you will atone for the sins committed by Paramveer, Deshmukh and Waze, because the injustice that has been done has shocked the nation. Not only Arnab and his family, Rhythm and me, but the entire nation stood shocked and people came out on streets in Delhi and right across in the whole country. I'll never forget the day of 4th November and thereafter, when there were prayer meetings for Arnab and his family. I do hope that you will take amends and take precautions to ensure that such miscarriage is never repeated. Kishore Babu.
Yeah. Arnab? Arnab, should I add something? Arnab, I do agree with Vikram Singh ji. The Paramveer cannot run away from this responsibility. He did misuse the excessive powers and the injustice has been done by the police. But how a home minister can instruct to the police inspector, I do not know. But whoever is involved should be punished. It is this stand. But a lot of time Arnab Goswami go on reporting the things in an excessive manner. So some vindicative actions are always there with the type of reporting of Arnab Goswami. But I do like
Kishore
he is one minute. So that's an admission. No. So what he said is, what he says, who's going to decide? 1 minute. Rhythm, did you note that? Who? Rhythm? Yes. Yeah, Rhythm. Rhythm.
So, Kishore Tiwari, when you're actually stating here that they don't like the reporting, you've actually hit the nail on the bud, because that is exactly the reason for which Arnab Republic was targeted. But I want to ask you, with whom does the buck stop, Kishore Tiwari? Does it only stop with the Paramveer, whom you're not ready to question? Does it only stop with a Waze or a Deshmukh? Whom does the buck really stop with? Who was the people who were taking action when the Supreme Court can question the High Court? Why is it that people are not even here ready to question the media and their complicit silence? Swapnil also wants to come in and make a point.
Yeah, Rhythm, my only response to Mr. Kishore Tiwari on this is, Kishore bhai, please listen to me. Kishore bhai, please listen. Kishore bhai, please, you have made your point. You have made your point, Kishore bhai. Thank you very much. Please let me make my point. Yeah, thank you. All my only point that I want to make, Rhythm and Arnab, is that if you don't like Arnab's way of reporting, switch off the channel. If you feel that the person or any reportage from his channel is going over the board, there are legal remedies or legal applications that you can make. But this form of arrest and this form, which is a complete weaponization of the criminal justice system, and also the bogus TRP case of 1,000 hours of wasting, picking people up from their walks, is nothing but a gross miscarriage of justice and an absolute decimation of the rule of law. Let me tell you that very, very frankly, Kishore bhai, I'm glad that you've admitted that people need to be taken to their task if they're responsible for this. And Arnab, let me point out one more thing which Mr. Manan pointed out. As far as the asking for malicious prosecution, institution of that and compensation is concerned, you can do that only as far as the Anbai Nayak's case is concerned. But as far as the TRP case is concerned, it has still to reach its logical conclusion. It need not be premature on this. Otherwise, it will be dismissed for want of prematurity. That is the only thing.
Kishore Tiwari,
otherwise you have succeeded.
Here's a question. No, here's a question to Kishore Tiwari. Kishore Tiwari, who is Deshmukh's boss? Who was Deshmukh's boss?
Yes, sir.
Who was Deshmukh's boss?
Absolutely my chief minister. Your
and
home
one
minister
second.
Cannot direct
who congratulated Paramveer? Who congratulated Paramveer for the TRP case? Did your chief minister congratulate Parambir on the TRP hoax?
Are you blaming the police wala?
Did your chief minister congratulate him on the TRP hoax? The nation wants to know.
No, my chief minister must have not informed properly, but he is a calibrated man, and we have after
Rahul, you buy that?
order, we have reviewed the thing.
He said the
And
chief
we will
minister was
come
not
back.
informed properly.
No, the Parambir has used his
So you say you were misled?
Parambir misused.
No,
his
so you're
office.
saying
That's my
your
admission.
chief minister was misled?
Huh?
No, you are saying your chief minister was misled.
Yeah. If the police officer was saying that such scam was there, so we should believe in our
Rahul.
police machinery. But if he's a fraud and it is a manipulated thing, then it needs to be corrected. How can a
Rahul Narvekar is on the debate. Rahul Narvekar.
police wala act like this? How can an independent police wala like this? How can they act? Independent police wala cannot act like this. The Parambir was duly involved. Parambir
Rahul Narvekar
was a product of themselves only. Why they are blaming politicians now?
Rahul.
Arnab, the audio wasn't clear. Can you please repeat the question?
He said the chief minister was misled.
No question.
He says on the TRP case, I lost your video, bring your video back. He says on the TRP case, the Maharashtra chief minister was misled by Parambir.
Well, where's the question of the Maharashtra? The Maharashtra chief minister is the chief of the government. If he gets misled by a commissioner, he ought not to be sitting in the office of the chief minister. What are you talking about? Where is the question of being misled? This government has been chasing, has been
Rahul, wait for 5 years.
Arnab Goswami for his honest journalism. Please appreciate, it is Mr. Anil Deshmukh. It is Mr. Anil Deshmukh who selectively reopened the case against Mr. Arnab Goswami. It is the government of the day which planted TRP case against Mr. Arnab Goswami. And this has been expressed by the judiciary as well. It is not just Arnab Goswami, Rahul Narvekar or any other individual stating this. The judiciary of the country has also expressed their displeasure in which the executive and the investigating agency.
I'd like Wills Matthews to come in. Wills Matthews. This is not a joke, though it sounds like one. This is not a joke, though it sounds like one. I'd like you to come in on this, on the larger issues of institutional integrity which come up.
Please, yeah.
That's my admission.
Okay, please. Any kind of attack.
Yes, Mr. Matthews.
Any kind of attack.
Mr. Matthews and Kapil Sangla.
I'm sorry. Any kind of attack on the... Please. Any kind of attack on the media is an attack on democracy. It is an attack on freedom of speech and expression. It is an attack on the right of the people to know it. And that should be dealt seriously without any doubts. But at the same time, I have also one thing more to say. That is, just on the statement of a witness or just on the statement of an accused, we cannot reach conclusions. In the charge sheet, whatever may be written,
1 minute, may I, Mr. Matthews? Mr. Matthews, can I ask you a counter? Mr. Matthews, actually, one simple counter. Rhythm, he says just on the statement of a witness, just on the statement of an accused. I think, Rhythm, you need to remind him, the person we are talking about, Kapil, is the person who did the press conference in the case. Kapil, please, I think he hasn't got this in context.
Yes.
It was Parambir's case.
Yes.
And I want to show you the pictures, viewers. The day he did the press conference, Waze was sitting right behind him. Kapil.
See, as far as law is
concerned, the law is very clear. If there are accused who make an inculpatory statement, as was also stated by the senior lawyer, if they say, yes, I did it, but I did it because of somebody else or at the behest of somebody else, that statement is inculpatory. It can be used in the court of law. Now, this gentleman was the face of an entire case. And this case has been turned out to be a hoax. And you know, it's a potboiler. I mean, your story actually could be a better story than Pushpa here, because Here there are these criminals in uniform. They're running an extortion racket. Now you ask certain questions which make certain political people uncomfortable, and their political masters who kind of conspire together. On the face of it, it looks like a politically motivated political conspiracy against you. But interestingly, it is something more. It's actually a financial dispute where there is certain houses who are not comfortable with your success. And therefore, it is not TRP fixing, but it's a fight for TRP. And somebody decides to take a shortcut with these criminals in uniform and political masters, etc. And when this is now out, it is shocking. It's shocking. It's funny and it's shocking that Mr. Kishore Tiwari comes and says that my CM was a lamb. Everybody was taking him to slaughterhouse happily. He did not even know what was happening. Paramveer was fooling him. Vaze was saying whatever he wanted to. And this Vaze fellow is very interesting. You know, I was hearing this, and I was hearing this repeated thing that he kept on saying that you get out of here. He was saying this to the media house. He was saying this to your media house. The arrogance of that man. The arrogance of that man when he's saying you get out of here, continuously. Look where he's fallen, right where these people belong. Yeah. So as far as what Mr. Williams said, a statement made by an accused against another accused can be used in the court of law if it is inculpatory. This is not an exculpatory statement, it's an inculpatory statement. He says, yes, I did it, but I did it at the behest of certain people. And that certain person
we just need to remember one last point when all this is being stated, whether it was the demands, whether it was the price of the toilet paper at Republic TV that was asked, whether it was interrogation that was taking place, whether it was Ghanshyam being beaten with a chucky belt, or the CEO also then being told that he will be imprisoned and then being imprisoned, at each step of the way, it was a conspiracy. Wills Matthews, today when that conspiracy is unraveling, today when the so-called powerful and the high and mighty have become people who are now being questioned by the ED, by the CBI and by the Mumbai police, the Maharashtra government themselves, it cannot be stated that everything they are saying has to be seen with a question mark, because the bottom line is they conspired and they all conspired together.
Exactly.
And they admitted to the fact. That's
absolutely. And Rhythm, I'm getting a lot of
in a week.
And I'm getting a lot of suggestions, Rhythm, by the way, tonight. Swapnil, getting a lot of suggestions on what should be done about the hoax anchors who wanted to build their careers on the hoax case. Swapnil, I truly believe that they must acknowledge their role. They must acknowledge their role. They're a blot to journalism. They're the real blot to journalism. Swapnil.
Yes. Absolutely, and all of that will come out in due course, because the last thing that I know is that women's shoes do not match those size and shape of men's shoes. And lastly, they can even forget stepping into your shoes. And secondly, with due respect to you, Mr. Wills Matthew, I do not understand for the heavens of it that since several months or last 2 years, this whole TRP scam has been going out, and Arnab has done show after show. How is it that you can come out and make such a statement, which is absolutely non sequitur, with no background, saying that an accused statement cannot be taken at face value? This is the man who came out with a press conference, and it was supported loudly and cheered by the media, who reached Arnab's house.
I will add one thing.
House 15 minutes before. That means they knew about it.
Swapnil, I will add one thing.
I want to. No. I at the same time, Kishore, I'll tell you one thing. You know, there's always another side of things. Kishore, there's another side of things with everyone on. I want to say one last thing. You know,
Arnab, I want to
you
add
thought
one
you'd
thing
destroy us, Kishore? 1 minute, Kishore, let me also say, you, others like you.
No, that is not
these cops, the politicians, the Vadra Congress, and these, the cheap tactics of some people in the media who are envious of our popularity and our success. Look at the way all of you lost. We are bigger today. We reach 400 million Indians. We are one of the largest news networks in the country. No, 1 second. We are going to become a global media network. My team is stronger, and there are people like Rhythm and our entire team which has come together. Our team is stronger. I must thank my team. I must thank my family. You know, these are the things which matter eventually. You know what? You conspirators are destined to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing some news coming in right now that there's some evidence that has come out. There's some evidence that has come out that some people from the underworld and people with links to the underworld were also exchanging some information and some messages on how to fix Arnab. And this information is also coming out in the public domain. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll come back with more on that tomorrow. As of now, it's time to say a big thank you, but I'm going to read a few messages, of course. And my first message this evening, just a minute, I'm going to take my time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And let me tell you one simple thing. I want to tell Mr. Sanjay Raut, and I want to tell, all of them, Nawab Malik, all my well-wishers, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. We're going to do much better now. And one quick thing, ladies and gentlemen, some messages. And Ronita Roy sends a message and she says, heartiest congratulations, Arnab and Republic. Not even for once did we ever have an iota of doubt in anything spewed against you. This corroboration honestly did not do anything additional for us since we never ever doubted you to begin with. Thank you. Aditri Kushalappa says, when I got news of the TRP case being a hoax, it's brought a huge relief to me, and I'm sure to all the viewers of the Republic Media Network. The moment when they dragged you to jail till the time you entered the studio, I had sleepless nights. Thank you very much. Prem Shetty says, due to Parambir and Sachin Vaze, the life of Arnab was put in danger. Ladies and gentlemen, messages like this are just beginning to pour in. I thank you very much. We have your blessings, and nothing else matters. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.